Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Blanca and welcome to my library. And I know it's been a while since the last time. I think I always say this, but I think it feels like forever since the last time I was here on this channel talking. I think I focus more on the other one and I shouldn't. Maybe from now on I'm gonna try to post once per 2 weeks. But in today's video, I'm just gonna show you the Spanish national authors books that you need in English so you can beg for your publishers to translate these books. Maybe some of them are really translated and I don't know, but I'm just gonna talk from the Spanish authors that you should read mostly. And the idea for this video came because today I was on an event alongside with R.F. Kuang, which is a Chinese American author, and when we were asking questions, I don't know what was it, but what was your current read? She told us she likes to read something from the countries she's visiting, so she wanted recommendations from Spanish authors. I just thought why don't I just do exactly the same but in a longer format in a video? So let's get started. First and foremost, I'm gonna go with the one I'm doubting if it's translated or not. It's El Mover los Anhelos, which we can translate literally to the map of the Craves. I actually didn't know how to say anhelo in English, but I think it's crave, but because the Crave series in Spanish is anhelo, so I think it's Crave's map or something like that. And it's gonna be turned into a series by Netflix on I don't remember when. So since it's going to be a series, I think it's gonna be translated, but I'm not sure. So this is basically a story about Grace, who was born to basically save her sister. It's kind of like this movie where I forgot the name of the movie, but I watched it in class with my religion teacher. I don't know. Well, basically she was born to save her sister, and then suddenly her sister dies, but leave her kind of game for her to complete, and she also meets a guy who knew her sister, and they basically do all these tasks together, and it's super cozy romance book. I think it was so cute. I rated 3.5 stars out of 5, and I think it's so cute. And Alice Cullen, although the name might sound English, I think she writes really pretty. Although I read 3 of her books and I only enjoyed this one, another one was 50-50 and one didn't like it, but she still has a really pretty kind of style of writing. So this first one is the Maps of Graves, or whatever it's called. Gotta say something about this one, but I forgot, so I'm not gonna say it. Following up, we have, I'm gonna show you first all the ones I have in physical, in paperback, so I can edit everything together. It's only because I'm lazy. And we have this book called Antes de Diciembre, which can be translated to Before December. This book came from Wattpad, but it doesn't matter. This book was such a boom here in Spain around 2020, 2021. It was such a boom. Everyone bought this book, and this is actually the first edition and the old one, because this is yellow and right now it's purple. We have an issue right now because it's a series, it's not a chronology book. It's not a standalone. No, I don't know what's said. This is just this is a series, and the second one's called After December, 3 months, and the lights of February. And the ones who bought this book before has just like yellow, and the rest are purple. That I didn't bought them because I mean I did not hate this book, but it wasn't really like, I don't know. But I still think, since it was such a boom here in Spain, I still think it will be in English-speaking countries. So I still think you should translate it, and I didn't hate it. I just enjoy it, but not as much as everyone was talking about. Since this book was everywhere, so I did enjoy it, but not as much as. I mean, I think right now, the hype like it has right now, I think it's worth, but not before. Like 2022, things were calm. This was still popular, but not as popular as others. I think that's the right place to read this book, and right now, it's also a right place. So you should tell your publishers to translate this to before December. Following up, we have Anne Within Filters, which we can translate it literally to Anne Without Filters. And this is a retelling about Anne with an E. Well, not Anne with an E, but Anne and the Green Gables. I forgot the name of the original book. And I think since all of you love the show Anne with an E, I think this one is exactly what you're looking for if you want to read something related to that show. I haven't watched Anne with an E, but I really feel like Anne Without Filters, it's gonna be such a correct choice for you. It's, I don't know what's Anne with an E, but I'm suppose it's Anne with it's a retelling of Anne and the Green Gables. And so this is also a retelling from Anne for Anne and the Green Gables, and this was more like modern. It's just kind of like this story can actually happen tomorrow or 10 years before, like in this decade, and also talks about fan fiction and fan art, fan writing, and what actually feels to be a fan. And it's, I don't know how related it is to Anne and the Green Gables, but I only want to read Anne and the Green Gables after reading this one, but I just didn't have the chance to. And now, following up, I think every single book from this Spanish author should be translated into English. And I think Memories of Idun, whatever it's called, it is in English, so maybe this one's also in English. And I'm not actually sure if Memories of Idun, which in Spanish called Memorias de Idun, is translated like it's in English. But I'm gonna talk about Crónicas de la Torre. This is the first book, which is El Valle de los Lobos. And we can translate this exactly to the Tower Chronics. I don't know how to say valle, but it's like the Valley of the Wolves, which now like translating into English sounds so much cooler than Spanish. I don't know, the Valley of the Wolves. And this book is by Laura Gallego, which is a super famous Spanish fantasy middle grade, we can say, middle grade young YA author. And this series specifically talks about a girl who was sold to an old man to get in a tower and learn magic. It's like one of my first reads, and I think every single Spanish reader started reading fantasy with this author, and I absolutely need for English authors to know her because he's such a great author. So it's just amazing. I don't know how badly was my post-its, but well, it's in this novel. It's really one of those where you actually get immersed into the novel, and I cried horrors I cry horrible on these pages here, which is only blue. Horrible. But I still recommend it to you because I think it's so great. I'm following the line with middle grade, young A, YA. Have this book called Los del Norte, which we can translate to the gods of the north. It's super cute actually. And it's a series of 5 books. I only have the 5th one, and I actually got it signed by the author, which I'm really glad I got. And I signed in the wrong page, but it doesn't matter. Oh my god. Well, this book, it's similar to Percy Jackson actually. It's basically Percy Jackson with another mythology, which is Basque, which is a Spain autonomous community. So maybe it's not like a known mythology, but it's definitely an amazing mythology book for everyone. Actually, I didn't even knew like this mythology existed. Only knew Greek, Nordic, Roman, well, with Roman, Chinese, Japanese, African, Egyptian, but I didn't actually know like from here, all Celtic, but I don't know any kind of mythology from Spain. And this book is it actually embraces like the mythology, because I think the author is from that place. So you should translate it and learn more about Spanish tradition that I didn't even know about. Just like it talks about a group of 3 brothers, well, siblings, who one day discovers their, we can't say sons, but they're descendants from these gods. So happens things and stuff. Following up, I think this is a must on your translation list. If you think something interesting, I think you should, if they don't translate this book, I think you should actually learn Spanish to read it, and maybe it's translated already and I don't know, but it recently has a Disney Plus series, and this book is Invisible, that's translated Invisible, from Eloy Moreno, and it has been recently adapted to be a Disney Plus series. And literally, like, I think if I read the synopsis, not the literature version, but in the back of the book, I'll think you loved it. Let me translate mentally first. Who has not desired to be sometimes invisible, and who hasn't desired sometimes like stop being invisible? I did a horrible translation about that, but it doesn't matter. This book talks about bullying in school, and it really touched your heart, and I think many of you must feel related. I think this is one book that should be a must read on school. So this is definitely to be translated worldwide, not only to English, but because English is one of the it's the language most spoken around the world. So you should translate Invisible. Like, ask your publisher for this, because you're missing out. Following up, we're starting with fantasy. Well, no, I'm gonna go with a romance book, and then I'm going to fantasy. I think I read more romance, like more Spanish romance than fantasy, because I read more English speaking, like English fantasy, or not even English. Like, I read a lot of German fantasy. I realized that Rubin wrote Flipped, which is romance, but you're gonna call it German. I don't even know if it's German, but from that part of the world, like Germany, Netherlands, Belgium. No, Belgium is in Germany. I'm horrible at geography. But we have Asesinos de Estrellas by Mar Bellis. This author is actually super cute, like super sweet. and it has a way of writing that you actually feel like it's wholesome while it's actually destroying yourself. And we can translate this book exactly to like till we get no stars, or when we are left with no stars, something like that. And it actually talks about the fight you have after a loss. It's like a very significant loss, but it's also a silly romance book, and we love silly romance with the girl called Maya, where her sister died in a car accident, and she meets this guy called Liam, who's a YouTuber, a famous YouTuber, but he has to deal with everything that comes with being famous, while she's struggling with her own mental health issues, since she has depression, has self-harm topics, and many others. So I think it's also a must in your translation list. I'm gonna keep calling it your translation list, because you should make a translation list and hand it over to any kind of publisher. For example, your lovely Penguin Random House, that we have the same one in Spanish. Following it up with fantasy, I have this book, which is not really known here in Spain, but Alma Cazadoras can be translated literally to Soul of a Hunter. I was going to say heart instead of soul, but it's like Soul of a Hunter, and basically talks about a hunter of demons who has to collaborate with the demon because, well, for some reasons, he has to collaborate with the demon. And it's kind of an enormous lovers, though, since I think it's really cute, and the demon has a tail. A point for that. And I think it's a really cute fantasy novel. We have a magic system. We have world building, which is, I think it's amazing. Of course I read more complex world buildings, but this one's still amazing. And following up, we have this one for the Greek mythology lovers, and I'm gonna do the same video for my Spanish channel, like books in English we need in Spanish. But we have Grietas de Oro y Mármol, which can be translated to, I don't know how to say grietas, I forgot. Well, I might as well search it later, but it's like not breaks, there are not breaks are the thing from the bicycle, but I don't know how to say it, of gold, and I don't know how to say this one either, like Mármol, it's kind of mineral, and it's basically a retelling about Medusa's story, and it's kind of talked in Medusa's point of view, and it's not really about Medusa, because it's like this guy, no, sorry, I'm just going to say a spoiler, but she's not a daughter, but she's a descendant from Athena, and it's actually talk from their perspective rather than the Poseidon thing. So I love this book. I rate it 5 out of 5 stars, and I definitely think you should read this. And if you can't get this translated, you should read it, like you should learn Spanish to read this. I don't see an issue. Then I was thinking like more Spanish books than this to be translated into English for you to read, and was thinking more of fantasy, because I show a lot of romance here, but I can't find no. I don't think I read much Spanish fantasy, although I try to read like Princess of Winter Princess, something like that. I think Spanish fantasy, it's so great, but also we don't have little, but I don't have discovered much about Spanish fantasy that I think you should need translation. So until now, this is what I have for today's video. Hope to see you next time, and I hope I can see you soon. But Bye. By the way, here are my socials, and only TikTok and Instagram, but these are my socials. If you want to reach out or want to see what I do in my daily life, you can follow me there. And now, bye for now.